Some people make saving money look effortless, and it's rarely because they have stronger willpower. Why do some people seem naturally good at saving money, while others struggle every single month? You might assume the answer is discipline. Maybe some people are simply more organized, more responsible, more careful with their spending. But that explanation doesn't hold up very well, because many people who struggle with saving are incredibly disciplined in other areas of life. They show up to work every day, they meet deadlines, they take care of their families. So why does saving money feel so difficult? The answer has less to do with discipline and much more to do with psychology. In fact, there's a simple psychological trick that can make saving money dramatically easier. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll see why this trick works and why most people never think to use it. First, we need to talk about something called mental accounting. Mental accounting is a concept from behavioral economics that explains how your brain categorizes money. Even though money is technically the same everywhere, your brain treats it differently depending on where it comes from and where it's stored. For example, imagine someone gives you $200 as a birthday gift. You might spend it easily, maybe you buy something fun, maybe you go out to dinner, because in your mind, that money feels like bonus money. Now imagine earning that same $200 from overtime at work. You might treat it differently, you might save it, or use it to pay bills. Same amount of money, different emotional meaning. Your brain created two separate categories. This happens constantly without us realizing it. Your brain sorts money into invisible buckets: bill money, fun money, emergency money, investment money. And once money enters one of those buckets, your brain begins following the rules of that bucket. This is the psychological trick. Instead of keeping all your money in one place, create separate financial buckets. Different accounts for different purposes. One account for bills, one account for spending, one account for savings, one account for investments. This simple change transforms how your brain interacts with money, because once savings live in a separate account, your brain stops seeing that money as available. It becomes invisible, untouchable. Protected. Imagine your paycheck arriving each month. Instead of one account holding everything, your system immediately distributes the money. A portion goes toward bills. A portion goes toward investments. A portion goes toward savings. And only the remaining amount sits in your spending account. Now, when you check your balance, you only see the money available for spending. The rest is already working for your future. This removes one of the biggest financial challenges people face: the constant decision-making. Every time money sits in your main account, your brain asks the same question: should I spend this? And every time you ask that question, you create a mental battle. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But when the money is separated automatically, the question never appears. You can't spend money you don't see. This is why many wealthy people maintain multiple accounts, not because it's complicated, but because it aligns with human psychology. Let's look at an example. Imagine someone earns $4,000 per month. Instead of placing that entire amount into one account, they create a simple system. $2,000 goes into the bills account. $1,200 goes into the spending account. $400 goes into investments. $400 goes into savings. This distribution happens automatically. Now, when they open their spending account, they see $1,200. Their brain naturally treats that as their available money. The other accounts feel separate, protected, almost like they belong to a different category, because psychologically they do. This structure reduces impulsive spending dramatically. Not because someone suddenly became more disciplined, but because their environment supports better behavior. And environment matters more than willpower. Think about dieting for a moment. If someone wants to eat healthier, but keeps junk food everywhere in their kitchen, resisting temptation becomes difficult. But if unhealthy food isn't easily accessible, better choices become easier. Money works the same way. Structure influences behavior. Another powerful version of this trick is something called automatic transfers. Instead of waiting until the end of the month to save money, the system moves money immediately after your paycheck arrives. This process is often called paying yourself first. The idea is simple: invest and save before spending begins. Because if saving happens after spending, it often gets neglected. Unexpected purchases appear, small luxuries creep in, and by the end of the month, nothing remains. But when savings happen automatically, spending adjusts around what's left. And humans adapt surprisingly quickly. If you earn $4,000 but automatically save $500, your brain soon begins thinking in terms of $3,500. Your lifestyle adjusts, your expectations adjust, and the saving habit becomes normal. There's another layer to this that's worth mentioning. When you automate your savings, you remove the need for motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Some days you'll feel like saving. Other days you'll feel like buying something. But a system doesn't care how you feel. It just runs. That's why wealthy people don't rely on daily discipline. They rely on automated systems that operate whether they're motivated or not. Now let's talk about something interesting. Once your savings begin growing, something psychological happens. You start associating that balance with security. Every time the number increases, you feel a small sense of progress, a sense of stability, and that emotional reward replaces the dopamine rush of spending. Saving becomes satisfying. Instead of asking, what can I buy with this money? You begin asking, how much can I grow this account? That shift in mindset is powerful, because once saving feels rewarding, behavior becomes easier. You stop forcing yourself to save. You start wanting to. This is where the trick becomes self-reinforcing. The more you save, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you want to save. Now here's an important point. Saving money isn't about depriving yourself forever. It's about creating balance. Enjoy your money. Spend on things that genuinely improve your life. Experiences, relationships, hobbies. But separate those spending decisions from your long-term financial security. Protect your future money from your present impulses. Because the easiest financial decision is the one you never have to make. Structure eliminates temptation. Automation eliminates debate. And psychology works in your favor instead of against you. Let me give you one final example to tie this together. Imagine two people. Person A keeps all their money in one checking account. They intend to save $500 each month, but by the 20th, the account looks low. They tell themselves, I'll save more next month. Person B sets up 3 accounts: spending, bills, savings. On payday, $500 moves to savings automatically. They never see it in their spending account. By the 20th, their spending account might be low, but the savings account remains untouched. Both people have the same income and the same intention. But only person B has a system that works with their psychology instead of against it. Eventually, something surprising happens. Saving money no longer feels like effort. It feels like a system. And systems build wealth quietly in the background while life continues normally. All because of one simple psychological trick. Give your money different homes. Protect the money meant for the future. And let your brain follow the rules of the environment you created. If you've struggled with saving in the past, don't blame yourself, blame the system, change the system, and watch what happens. Thank you for watching. If this trick made sense to you, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you there.